everybody, and welcome back to a very sunny Brands Hatch here in Kent in England for the GP Anniversary Championship round number 3. We've seen some exhilarating races so far, and surely that trend is only going to continue as we've got about 6 minutes of qualifying left in the session. My name's Liam Jenkins and I'll be calling all of the action for you from this 900 to 1100 Skillquant B race coming up very, very shortly. Still plenty to come here on Simraceway tonight. Skillquant goes a bit slow there on the run up to Clark Corner. I'm just wondering if he's trying to position himself ideally for his next hot lap. He's currently pole position, of course, but only by a slight margin, just 1.4 tenths of a second, and that is the lowest margin of a pole position we would have seen tonight if that continues. So I'll do a quick run through of the order before going on an onboard lap with one of our drivers then, so Anxiety, and then Matt Day second, who's just in the way of Darek there actually, so it's Anxiety in the lead so far from Matt Day, who's now just been dropped down as Devil Bevin takes pole. We've got PA in 4th, Flaren in 5th, 6th place belongs to Luigi, almost had a bit of a run there through Druids, a bit of a wide run that was. Fregel is 7th, 8th is Rudolph, 9th is Belinas, 10th in Ganj, and 11th is DeMagico, with the Flow 12th and Darek in 13th. But now I'm just going to try and find a driver to ride on board with when he's going towards the end of his lap. I think it's a bit awkward because everyone's going towards the start, but here comes the Flow there now. His man has not set a time just yet, currently P13, no traffic ahead of him, probably the best person to jump on board with. Now he jumps 9th with that lap, so 9th position for the Flow at the moment, but through Paddock Hill, don't go too aggressive on the apexes, they will catch you out as you're going towards the Druids hairpin, down to second gear, about 60 mile an hour through there, depending how confident you are. Heavy up the gears now to 4th before some people go back down to 3rd, others keep it in 2nd, depending on how high you want your rev limiter. Down the keeper straight into 30s, very long left-hander that brings you out onto probably the best slipstreaming opportunity on the entire circuit. Bit of a wobble right there, but as you go under the Simraceway bridge, look at the speeds this Lotus AJB will reach up to 170 almost miles an hour as you dive through Hawthorne, through the Derek Minter Straight and in towards Westfield Corner. 3rd gear through here, it's only a short apex, so back on the power nice and early. Before bringing your way through Sheen Curve very shortly, and that could be back to the pit lane very shortly, indeed it is. So the Flow's lap wasn't best executed there. He's currently 9th, he should get himself at least one more shot of trying to improve though. Most of the drivers have done 5 laps each, and it's Flaren is currently fastest with a 1:12.4, 3 tenths quicker than Fregel in 2nd. Right, Barty now demoted to 4th with his 1:13 flat. He's improved, but not enough. There's, looking at the times, a few 1:12, so 3 drivers in with a 1:12. Anxiety just on the edge of that bubble. The question is, will anyone else be able to just about pop it, because 2 minutes 32 seconds left. That's about time for 2 more laps here at Brands Hatch. It is a short lap even on the extended GP circuit. Well, let's just wait and see how this session pans out. We'll keep an eye on the timing sheets as Flaren is still out on the circuit, so he's not giving up just yet. He knows that that margin of just 2.4 tenths of a second will not be enough to earn a pole position if there are any improvements. Flaren over the line, does he improve his current time? Oh, he does, and that might be a secure margin. He's back to the pits. 4.7 tenths, a big lap there for Flaren 89. And Devil Bevin gets closer by a few hundredths, so 1:12.7 that time round for Devil Bevin as the cars go over the line in a relentless fashion. It's car after car that keeps crossing that start-finish line. Devil Bevin able to react to this then. Fregel in 3rd. He does, but it's not enough. 300ths of a second away from Devil Bevin. That Dave P4. Now he's just gone through Clark Curve now. improve his time. Oh, he goes second. Big late improvement there from Mepday. He will be absolutely elated with that lap. 1 minute left in the session. There is time for another lap, but he slowed down after Paddock Hill Bend, maybe realising that's the best he's going to do, and calls it a day. By the way, still some dramas left at the end. We've seen it here before. Anything can change. Here comes Devil Bevan's attempt. He'll get one more as well. And that's not enough. So Devil Bevan stays 4th at the moment, with Mepday taking 3rd place. What can Fregel do? He's in P5. And he's currently navigating his way to the back end of the circuit now. Clark Curve's just round the corner. So he should get one more time after this as well, actually. One more opportunity as Fregel brings his way over the start-finish line once again. Let's take a look and see what he can do. Is this P4 or no? No, it's not. He stays 5th. So Fregel seemingly struggling with pace a little out there today. Stuck in the heart of the midfield. Luigi 6th is in the pit lane. Mr. PA in 7th is still out. He's making his way through the final corner now. Nice and tight through there. Very good line, but just a bit too tight to the apex. Spins directly into the pit lane, and I'm pretty sure that's where he's going to end this session from. Yeah, so checkered flag is out here at Brands Hatch. Just a couple more drivers to complete their times. Darek stays in 11th place. Agvarti, this is the man we need to watch for. He's currently back on pole position. Is there another late shot? Can he extend it? Devil Bevan moves up to 3rd with his attempt. Oh, and that is nail in the coffin. Agvarti, a blistering lap there. Absolutely sensational. A 1 minute 11.667. The only driver to get in a 1:11, and he's done it by quite some margin. We're waiting on Fregel as he makes his way through the last corner, down the main pit straight for his 8th qualifying attempt. And this lap will put him, stays 5th position. So that's qualifying session over then. Agvarti takes a dominant pole. Can he turn it into a dominant victory? We will find out very soon here in the GP Anniversary Championship. Hello everybody and welcome back to a gorgeous Brands Hatch circuit here at Kent in the United Kingdom. Xvarty took a fantastic pole position just a few moments ago. Is he going to turn it into a victory? Let's find out. We've got 4 red lights. The run into Paddock Hill begins now. Flair around the outside, he may just take the lead here. It'll be an audacious attempt to sweep it around Paddock Hill bend. And that is not an unconfident manoeuvre. That is a very tricky move to pull off. And Flair's made it absolutely spectacular. And that is just, oh my goodness me, my mind is blown. I'm not even sure how to react. Flair, pass of the weekend outside of Paddock Hill bend, where room is so tight. The rest of the field funnels through the opening couple of corners unscathed. And this race just keeps impressing. The Magico there overtaking. That was Rudolph 5-2-3 and 10 that move before. Now Rudolph right there as he's going to come back from the Magico up the inside, coming out of 4 horns, but I don't think he's going to get the move through there, unfortunately. Xvarty now is keen to try and put a bit of a move on Flair. Going towards the final corner, not quite through there. Then we've got 25 laps of racing here. This Simraceway as Flair leads a lap, and I tell you what, he'll still be working his sweat from his forehead after that pass. That was absolutely spectacular. Around the outside of Paddock Hill bend, and it's not very often commentators end up speechless, but that was definitely one of them. Through Druids they go. Xvarty tracing his every mark. He knows he's got a dominant pole position, but passing around this nimble circuit is definitely not for the faint of hearted. As Flair proved earlier on, you've got to be audacious, you've got to take risks, and if you don't, then I'm afraid you're not going to make the pass stick. And Xvarty again almost trying down that straight, isn't he? A bit further down the field. We'll bring an update on positions then. Fregel from Devil Bevin, Mepday very close by. Then P8, Ingan, Rudolph. Then just behind them we've got the Flow, Darek, Luigi and the Magico. All of those guys in a very tightly packed midfield. That we really do mean there's not that much left at all of between cars. That is absolutely spectacular. No retirements after the second lap. McLaren still leads Xvarty over the start-finish line. The gap stands just over a second, and Xvarty was about 100th of a second quicker then. McLaren and Xvarty. Just behind there, they've got a nice battle forming between Devil Bevin and Mepday. Let's see what Mepday can do. This is over P4. He's trying to look at the inside of Surtees there. Now that move is never really an easy one to say, and that neither is a move on the outside of Paddock Hill bend. I don't think I've ever seen anyone in my history being not even just a sim racing commentator, a regular commentator, try a move around the outside of Paddock Hill bend and be successful without either contact or going off circuit. That was simply fantastic, and Fregel is not fantastic there. He's limping onto the circuit. Now that, I believe, is coming out of Westfield now, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, just entering Westfield, so no, I beg your pardon, that's going through Sterling. So that was out of Sheen Kern. Very tricky left-handed apex, that one. Unfortunately, I think Fregel just got the corner a bit wrong. But already though, the fight is starting to take shape up front. As Flair and Xvarty locked in warfare. It's now Xvarty that leads. Flair made a bit of a mistake, and it's Xvarty that now has a 2.5 second advantage over Flair and 89. Devil Bevin sits in 3rd place with Mepday right on his tail now in 4th. That's how much of a mistake he made, because Mepday now right underneath that rear wing, looking to give him absolutely everything he's got over the next 21 laps or so. Okay, there's 26 laps left in a 25 lap race, but this has been some super racing so far, and I was talking to some of the drivers earlier, and there was a lot of sceptical comments about this current track combo. Now it wouldn't work, or the car's too fast for the track, or the car is too aggressive for the track. You can't drive it. It's ridiculously hard to control. But look, once again, the quality of talent, the quality of racing that we're seeing here today. Absolutely fantastic so far in the opening laps of this one. Plenty of respect between the drivers. The car is wide enough to make overtaking, and sure, with the track being so narrow, a gorgeous piece of track here in the heart of England. And the car itself also represents a brilliant time back in the golden era of Formula 1. It also just had our first title, and that was the Magico. So 13th place there for him. Unfortunately, not the way he wanted to end his weekend. So a little bit of a scan through the field, and I have still picked up on what is now becoming the battle for third. So the hunt has become the hunted. Devil Bevin is now having the fight of his life to keep left day at bay as they make their way to the back end of the ransacked start of the game. And already you can just see how much pressure he's putting on. He goes wide there, and Devil Bevin can't go back up the inside. That apex closes up quicker than an automatic door. And unfortunately for Devil Bevin, he's going to have a lot of work on his hands because he's slowly slipping down the order, and it's not where he needs to be. He's already dropped a couple of positions, he doesn't need to drop any more. But to be fair, the next car behind him is about 3 seconds adrift, so he does have a bit of a safety leverage to play with. Skillquant in 6th, Rudolph in 7th. Those two could be into a bit of a fight there soon. And there's the Flo, Luigi, and Bellinas. Those three starting to get a bit too close for comfort right now. Really close. I think that could even be a four-way battle soon, because Darek has made a bit of an error and he's only 5 seconds clear, so keep an eye on that gap. I do think it's going to fluctuate. Oh, now to the inside almost was Luigi Yuan. I can't tell if that was intentional or if he's maybe gone wide. Now that was definitely unintentional, because round goes Bellinas. Very opportunistic there into Clark Kerr. Quick update on what's happening with Bellinas as well. The gap between Anxiety and McLaren is extending. I think it's a bit evident as to just how much Anxiety is pulling away. We said he was dominant in qualifying, little lapse of concentration off the line, and I'm trying to make one of the most beautiful passes I've ever witnessed. But now, once Anxiety's back in the lead again, that pace is just coming into its own, isn't it? We've said all along about Anxiety's consistency, and now he needs to improve, and once he gets that, then he could be one of the most formidable drivers within Simraceway, and he's really pushing that car, the back end is stepping out every single corner. So hopefully those inconsistencies come to an end here today at Brands Hatch. He goes over the line to start lap number 8 out of 25. So 4 seconds adrift the gap between Flaren and Anxiety. 4 seconds also the gap between Flaren and Mepte in third. Now Mepte is starting to look a little more dangerous now in third place, with Devil Bevin tucked safely away. He's trying to hold on to 5th, still over in gun. Rudolph 7th, Darek in 8th, Flo in 9th, Bellinas 10th, with Luigi in 11th, and Fregel in 12th for our lone retirement, the Magico. No, Luigi, you are now up the inside. He's trying to look there against Bellinis, and he's I think that's a flow, beg your pardon, sorry. Yeah, Bellinis is definitely the car in front, and we were monitoring that gap before. And so Bellinis was 5 seconds adrift. He's now about 2.5. Luigi's just made a pass as well, so Luigi's looking pacey. Bellinis falling backwards slightly as a yellow flag out, and now that is Mr. PA. He's down to 8th place. He was 5th previously. Actually scrapping and make it 9th. Luigi and the flow both go through safely. Spacing it out a little bit right now as Neptune and Devil Bevin get a bit closer together. Well, actually, I'll take it back. Devil Bevin's gone a bit more rallycross over the past couple of corners. And that's 4 was off the track in 2 corners. By the way, over the line, let's just take a look at what the lap times are. So Mepste in 3rd was a 1:13.7, a 1:13.1 from the man in 2nd, Flower a 1:13.0 from the race leader, a 1:13.8 from Devil Bevin in 4th. Varty, Flaren, oh, Mepste's off, and that's a big mistake! A big mistake. He's beached between the 2 tyres. Now I'm wondering, to me, that looked like he's either gone straight on to go through clearways and forgot about the tyres in a sudden lapse of concentration, or he's just accidentally lost the back end, and as he's tried to correct the slide, he's hit the tyres. But either way, Mepste, a big impact into the tyres which normally block the clearways corner. Darek, Bellinis, Luigi, Flo, and Mr. PA round out your order from 5th to 11th. And a little bit of a wager forming there with Bellinis and Darek now. Bellinis almost trying to flower, isn't he? Right under the rear wing. Darek knows he wants the inside line. He's going to push Bellinis right to the pit wall, and that was never going to be an audacious attempt, was it? So Darek onto the gravel, and he's gone wide. Bellinis goes straight through. No counter attack from Luigi. So Darek only drops 1 position. Darek, Luigi, and Mr. PA, the 4 drivers that we're trying to keep an eye on at the moment. I think their battle's been arguably the most intense on the circuit, and for a circuit which doesn't really promote overtaking, there's been a lot of position changes. In the first half of this race, we're only on lap 11 of 25. Up the inside, there goes Luigi of Druids, and is he going to make it stick? Is there oversteer? Yes, he can't, no he can't! And Darek fights back. that could have been something audacious. Rudolph still 6th, Mepte down to 5th and Garns 4th. Round 3rd, Devil Ben in 2nd. Variety to lead the way. So 14 seconds clear in just 13 laps is what Variety has now. And bear in mind, he didn't lead for the first few. He was stuck behind Darren 89. He made the pass of the century going in towards Paddock Hill Bend. So now Variety with potentially a lot of work to do. But there's only so much we can wait and see how it all pans out. We've got a lot of racing left here. As we said before, this circuit is very punishing. All it takes is one little error and your race can go turning upside down. You've got to play this game, you've got to try and make sure you're making the right decisions at the right time. The tiniest of error, your race ends up in the pit lane. Field almost spaced out other than the Darek and PA battle. That's still happening in 8th and 9th place with Luigi watching on. Over the apex goes PA and he's definitely getting closer, isn't he? And you take a look at where the drivers are currently, they're just making their way out of that final corner in towards Clark. To the main straight. And now is PA going to get a run or no? He's been very pacey indeed. Goes to the inside. Now this one will be intriguing. Very easy to late brake and hit the car you're overtaken in Paddock Hill Bend. Around the outside goes Dara. Paddock Hill Bend is the scene to be, isn't it? Through a spectator, that's the grandstand to be at, because that is just absolutely brilliant racing you see through there now. To the inside, always off again. There goes Darek, and he's got a bit lost. He's gone off to Clearways and gets himself back over the gravel and facing the right direction. Unfortunately, though, I think that's going to be a bit of a downer on the race that's been quite intriguing so far for him. He's now down in 10th position, just ahead of the flow, as I almost break my computer there. And Darek is doing everything in his power to make sure he can catch Luigi again. He's got to be very wary. Depending how hard he pushes that car, it only takes one mistake too many and the flow will be right up behind him, just searching for a way through. Flow, Fraggle, the Magico. Oh, your last driver. Still only one driver retired over halfway through the race. That was on lap 4 with the Magico. I didn't actually see the incident, but unfortunately we know that's not going to be his ideal position. We all know the Magico and how dedicated he is to these races. The field spread out. The main bulk of the action coming from those midfield fights, which never seem to stop. It doesn't matter who the drivers are, who the cars are. Around this circuit, the midfield is just absolutely relentless. Bellinas, Rudolph, Mepte, Ingange, Flaren, Devil and Anxiety are your current reverse top 5, and I will be also trying to bring you maybe a bit of an announcement a bit later tonight regarding what the future could hold for a championship here in Simraceway, one with extended live broadcasts and extended live interviews as well. There'll be pre and post race shows, maybe even some highlight videos also. We're going to really try and push this over the next couple of months. I know definitely I'll be working with as many people as I can within Simraceway to make it a reality, and I'll try and keep you guys updated on that a little bit later on. But right now, lap 16 and 25, and it's still a 15-second gap for Anxiety. It hasn't really fluctuated since we've last checked up on it. It's 16.9 seconds clear. And we'll see if Anxiety can cruise home. Got very close to the white line there. In fact, if he got any closer, I think 4 wheels may have been off the grass. But a lap time of a 1 minute 12.6, so fairly average from your pole sitter. Devil Bevan, though, a 112.9, just a few tenths slower, with Flower 89 coming over the start-finish line now. And will this be enough? That's a 113.4, so Flower dropping time. A 113.6 for Engange. Mepday can do a 113.2, so Mepday lapped extremely quickly that time round. Out of Druids goes Mepday, looking extremely competitive right now. Second ride on board then with Mepday. We've seen qualifying laps. You haven't seen a race pace lap. Now he's just going in towards 30's corner. We're going to try and shift down to third. As we say, some drivers put it in second, just to try and keep the revs a bit higher. Kick it out to third as we go down the straight that links the 13th and Hawthorne corners. Under the bridge you go. Watch out for the elevation change. The slight bump can catch some drivers off. And through Hawthorns you go, nice and straightened up, not too much speed like the corner tempts you to. Out of Westfield and down in towards Dingledale. It's a very tricky right-handed apex. Again, another blind one. You just trust your driver instinct, especially when following another car. Out of Clearways, out of Clark and down final corner over the start finish straight. Now I touched on this earlier on as well, where actually I think it'll be best to bring up when it's inside again, isn't it? If we take a look, for instance, now Mr. PA is chasing Valinas. On the left hand side, that building there is the big VIP suite, so any VIP seats you book, you can sit in there, you get hospitality, there's restaurants. On the right, just at the end of the pit lane, is the media centre. Now when you go to there, that's where the commentary booth is. That's the last building on the end, and that big glass area, 360 degrees of glass surrounds that box. So you can turn around, look at the cars at Druids, turn back around and see them once again just going through Paddock Hill Bend. There are monitors in the commentary box so you can see all the action at the corners such as Westfield and Hawthorns and even coming out of Sterling's. It is absolutely a marvellous commentary box. I'd really, if I'm ever doing any work there or any of you are in the area, it would be great to see. But we also had a pass there with Mr. PA and Rudolph. We also got an incident with Preggle, we believe. Now that's down in P12. We just saw on your monitors earlier on. I was trying to take a look at what Valinas was doing as he dropped a position to PA. Trying to hold on there. In fact, he could drop back further. Luigi UR, who we said has been gaining on him this entire time, maybe just pushing a little bit more. He's really not that far away from an impressive pass down Paddock Hill Bend. Could be one of the prime places to do it. Well, almost touches the rear wing. There he did. Was that contact? The slightest slide. I don't know how he caught that. Nerves of steel as they're going towards Druids, and he tweaked it around the outside. That was absolutely a brilliant car control there from Valinas. If you ask me in that situation, the car would have ended up in the tyre wall, no doubt about it. But lap 19 of 25, and we are seeing some very impressive driving. The flow again now with Preggle. This is the battle that's been waiting on. Oh, and a great cut underneath by Preggle. The vision there was simply far superior to what the flow had, despite the mistake. Preggle has just been absolutely sensational with his vision recently, especially these past few weeks. Off there went Valinas. Now, we just can't seem to get enough action now, no matter where you look. There's someone in the walls or trying to dig through the trenches. This is simply marvellous to watch. We've got to be careful and just try and keep an eye on any of the drivers that are wisely making their way through here. So PA out there he goes, still looking for that maiden top 5, but he'd like to see. Now look at the train of cars behind. Almost like the Luigi line. You've got Luigi, Valinas, Darek, Preggle, the Flow, all of them down to 12th. Oh, just separated by about 5 seconds. watching Darek's move there. I think he got a bit too deep going on the exit. Didn't quite get as far wide as he would have liked. That did, in fact, put a bit of a sweet spot on the run. He would have gained out of the corner. Now taking a look at Mepday. There's Nganji in P4. Mepday, who's been lapping absolutely stupendously. But oh, he spun it! And the commentator's curse. He's been lapping stupendously, and what happens? Out of Druids, a complete pirouette. And now Rudolph's only a few seconds away, and Mepday gets the car going, but I think that's going to jeopardise any position or any chance of him gaining 4th position. And poor Mepday, you've got to feel for him. Extremely fast. He was the 2nd fastest car on the track at one point earlier today, and now finds himself picking up the pieces from his own jigsaw, which they scattered across the floor. And Varty with just a few more laps remaining of his dominance. Yes, he didn't get the best start, but when he got back into the lead, he built up an extensive gap to the cars behind, now spanning 17 seconds almost. So it hasn't risen as much in recent times. Maybe Varty just taking a foot off the throttle slightly, and when the race comes to him, you don't need to be pushing that hard when your nearest competitor 20 seconds away, and behind him, the nearest rival is 47 seconds away. All he's got to do is bring that car home in one piece and pick up some massive points in the penultimate round of the GP Anniversary Championship. Yeah, he crosses the line to start his 22nd lap with a 1:13.4. Well, that was a lot quicker than Rudolph that time now, so we'll see if anything can swap over in the next few moments. Rudolph, PA, Luigi, Felinas, Fregel, The Flow, and Darek's gone off the car. Pulled out the car missing from that train. I'd like to re-say them out loud. Darek has just had a bit of an off coming out of Druids. Fregel, Felinas, Luigi, just saying out loud again, make sure I haven't dropped another one, because so now it's all over Fregel, and the hunter, once again as the saying goes, could become the hunted. Felinas is looking to be under a lot of pressure, and that car swerving around like he's driving on a lake of ice. Now over the start finish line then, that's 23, 3 more to go. Fregel trying to drift out wide, sneak back underneath. Oh, and a sneaky manoeuvre there if he can pull it off, but he forgot about how early the tarmac turns to grass on the inside of the corner. Unfortunately, that's as far as that move is going to progress for the near future. He's still got a couple of minutes left to do it. The Flow watching on with eager eyes, knowing he can assert himself into this battle at any given moment. Oh, and off there goes Fregel, a bit too much. Oversteer there, and through go Felinas and The Flow. And just a couple of more moments left for Varty. He's already halfway round. His penultimate lap of the race is approaching traffic as well. Now that is not something you want to see, because the traffic he's catching is actually rather important to the race. It's Fregel, The Flow and Felinas, the cars he's catching at the moment. So we could see a bit of interference there, and perhaps a surprise result depending on how easily the race leader can navigate the traffic. And over the start-finish line, Felinas, of course, the keyboard racer, doing a very good job here today, it's got to be said. In 9th place, he's holding his own on a track which demands concentration, demands a good setup, and yet Luigi can't find a way through, neither can The Flow at the moment. Flow trying to sneak to the inside of Surtees, not quite there, and you can just see the looming threat in the background of Varty. You might want to sing the Jaws theme in the background of every shot. It's just there, creeping up on you slowly. We have to keep our eyes focused on this battle until, I think, Varty's going to cross the line, because Not that far away from them. We got side-by-side action through there. So Luigi and Freggle, the two collide. Freggle's on the grass. Luigi lets him back through, but Freggle can't really find his way. So they do both less anxiety pass those. The first sportsmanship there. And now the Flo and Bellina still going at it like cat and dog at the moment. Maybe cat and mouse is the phrase, because that's how Bellina's being hunted. The Flo to the inside of the final corner. Into Clark they go. And they know Bellina's will get the drive through there. That was never going to work, but it's all about anxiety. Down to the final corner he comes. He took pole position. He's going to take a race, but anxiety is back to winning race here in Simraceway. You will be so happy with that one. And a lot of confidence restored. Second is Devil Bevin. A good job there indeed. Very good job to see him. Nice to see him back on the podium. Flower 89 will take his maiden podium off the championship. So just wait for the rest of the drivers to cross the start-finish line. There goes Flarin, claiming his podium position. And Gans will take fourth. Rudolph spins from P5. He's got to keep it going. He keeps it out the wall. There is Mepte. There's PA. And the race end could not get much more tense. The tyres will be cold. The grid levels will be fading. And here comes Mepte to the inside. He can't make it. Rudolph clinging on for dear life. And Mepte screaming to find a way through. Rudolph is going to cling on for dear life. And you could not ask for a closer finish than that. The sweat will get wiped from the forehead. Rudolph takes 5th, Mepte takes PA 7th, and Flo will take 8th place in front of what could be 9th or 10th for Belinas. The Flo still challenging him earlier on, but it's all about Freggle's slipstream right now. Belinas holds strong in 9th. Freggle can't do much more. Darek in 11th, Luigi in 12th, and our only retirement still the Magico. Oh, we can all take a big breath after that one. That was absolutely fantastic racing from start to finish. The best news is we've still got our feature race, the 900 to 1100 Skillquant, coming up for you next very shortly.